Shalom Aleichem. Welcome to this short week. Yesterday was Yom Kippur. Today we have now preparation for Sukkot. It's an interesting medrash. Well, they're all interesting, but the medrash says that if you look at the verses in Parshas Emor, Leviticus 23, it says there you should take for yourselves on the first day, right? On the 15th day of the month is the month of Sukkot, and you should take on the first day. So the Medrash asks, listen, we're talking about the 15th of Tishrei. Why do you tell me the first day, right? There has to be a reason the Torah uses the words the first day. And the Medrash answers, because on Yom Kippur, the Jews were forgiven for their sins. But they had 4 more days until Sukkot. Sukkot is now the first day. This is the first day when if you did something wrong, it's going to be held against you. That means you have more or less a free ride in the 4 days between Yom Kippur and Sukkot. If you do something wrong, it's not even counted. That's what the Medrash says. Kachtum lechem bayom rishon, take for yourselves on the first day. Rishon lecheshbon avonos. It's the first day when God starts recording the sins. Those 4 days in between Yom Kippur and Sukkot, if you did something wrong, it doesn't count. That's amazing. What is so special about these days? Well, we'll get to it, God willing, in a few moments. But the first thing is to understand, we just finished Yom Kippur, doing teshuvah, and now we're busy. We're very, very busy. We built a Sukka. All right, today with modernity, we've got some Sukkahs that can go up within the hour. All right, metal poles, put them together, drop the schach off on top, and you're finished. 1 hour, you can go from start to finish, build a Sukkah. It wasn't like that in the old days. I remember my grandfather, Olav Shalom, had a Sukkah made of heavy wooden panels. It was a job. It took us a few hours to assemble it every year. But even then, it still takes time. You got to make sure you have the Sukkah, make sure you have all the parts. You still have to build it. You're busy building a Sukkah. And then there's also the mitzvah of Lulav and Etrog. The mitzvah of Lulav and Etrog, well, they got to be kosher. You can't just take a lemon and say it's a citron, it's an Etrog. You can't just take a palm branch. It's got to be laws that are followed. And the myrtles and the willows. There are people that spend hours looking for an Etrog. Rabbi Nachman once said, it's not for nothing that so much time and effort is put into choosing a beautiful Etrog. The Etrog represents the tzaddik, the Etrog represents the beauty of all Israel. The mitzvah of Etrog is so great that whoever fulfills it has tremendous rewards waiting for him. Fulfilling the mitzvah of Etrog itself is 610. Aleph and Tov and Reish and Vav and Gimel add up to 610. And then you have the Lulav, the Hadassim, and Aravos, 3 more. It's 613, corresponding to all the mitzvahs of the Torah. So that the mitzvah of Etrog corresponds to all the mitzvahs of the Torah. And it represents the beauty of the Jewish nation. The Berditchev Rav, Reb Levi Yitzchak of Berditchev, who used to always find good in every single Jew and always fight on behalf of the Jews. He was known as the defender of the Jews. He used to stay up the whole night of Sukkot in anticipation of being able to take the Lulav and Etrog in his hands and shake them. That's how great the mitzvah is. A whole night he would stay up in anticipation of being able to perform this mitzvah. So during the 4 days from Yom Kippur, you're tired after a fast, you're a little bit drained maybe. So you need your strength, and you spend your strength on what? Building a sukkah, buying Lulav and Etrog, putting them together, getting Yontif ready. You still have to prepare for Yontif, right? Cook the meals, get everything ready, so that God will not look at any sins. He just forgave them. Why should he be looking for them? There's no reason. So he gave us the mitzvahs of Lulav and Etrog to occupy ourselves with between Yom Kippur and Sukkot, right? And with this, God willing, we're able to go without having any sins. But let's take it further. Yom Kippur is when we're going to be judged and written down in the book of life, God willing. But we do it out of fear of Hashem. After all, my life is on trial. I'm afraid of Hashem. Sukkot is a holiday when we do the mitzvah out of love for Hashem. It's a very different approach. And there's a simple joy, there's a tremendous joy that's found among the Jewish nation during that week of Sukkot. It's a very special week. So now the Gemara says, what do you build a sukkah of? Right? What material? This has to be something that doesn't receive impurities. It has to be something clean. What do you put on the roof of the sukkah, which is the main part of the sukkah, the schach? The Gemara says you use psoilis, gorin, v'yokov. You use the waste matter of whatever you have in your goren. Goren is like a treasury where you store your wheat, stuff like a silo, right? The waste matter of the silo. The waste matter. This is a sukkah. This is your teshuvah of ahava. What do you mean the waste matter? Right? It teaches us that nothing really is waste. Nothing really goes to waste. Rather, what we have is ourselves utilizing our energies. Whatever I did, even if I didn't do good, I take it now and I bring it with me into the sukkah. And I'm going to love it. Not that I'm happy that I did something wrong, but I'm happy that I am still here, and God He granted me life till now, and now I can look forward. So I can take even the waste matter and bring it into my sukkah. And the Medrash tells us about Lulav and Etrog, the same thing. Etrog is shaped like a heart, and it represents the beautiful people of the Jewish nation, those who are good, ripe within and without. They smell good, they taste good. That's what the tzaddikim are all about. Then you have the lulav, which represents it's the palm tree, which has dates which are tasty, but it has no smell. And then you have the hadassim, the myrtles, which have a smell. They smell good, but they have no taste. And then we have the willows, the arovas, which don't have a taste and they don't have a smell. And this represents the entire body of Jewish people. There are those who are beautiful within and without, the etrog. Everything is good about them. There are others that smell good, but they aren't so good. There are others that taste good, but they aren't so good. And there are those who stink. They have no smell, no taste, they have nothing, like the willows. But you cannot fulfill the mitzvah of lulav, unless lulav etrog, unless you have all four parts connected. You hold them together and you shake them together, because the unity of the Jewish nation is the most important thing in all our lives. Let's not smell good and taste bad. Let's not taste bad and smell good, taste good, or whatever. There's too much going on, right? Even those who have no taste and have no smell. Here in Beit Shemesh, in Israel, a few weeks ago, they've been suffering about a half year with a plague of wild dogs. And they attack people in the streets. And people wanted to shoot them, get rid of them, capture them, shoot them. The animal lovers, right? And those are people who I think they may be very good people, I don't know. But in this case, they didn't come out right. People are being attacked by wild dogs, and they bring a court order that you can't shoot the dog, right? You're supposed to open yourself and your children up for attacks by wild dogs. So they went to the Supreme Court of Israel, which itself, in my eyes, is a willow. But okay, everything they rule on is just crazy altogether. But okay, they're like willows. But whatever. In the middle of the arguments about shooting the dogs or not shooting the dogs, one of the animal lovers says to one of the people who claim gets rid of the dogs, "What makes your life better than a dog?" You imagine that? What makes your life better than a dog? The person can't even think of a human being being better than a dog. Could you ask for a bigger willow than that? Right? Of course, the Supreme Court, those willows, said, no, you can't shoot the dogs. We have to see. Okay, but the point is that the willows, but they're still people. They're still amazing people. And we still have to include them in humanity, in our unity. Right? It's something that you have to be very much aware of. Everybody counts. Everybody is important. That the person can't differentiate between a human and a dog, then it's a big pity on him. You have to have great compassion for him. He cannot appreciate that a human being is better than a dog. He can't think that way. So there's no greater pity on a person than that. But even he has to be included. This is the message of Sukkot. Include everybody. Let's open up our hearts and minds to unity. And let's, God willing, love teshuvah from me'ava. Let's do teshuvah from love of Hashem. Let us all join up, be together, the unity. And as we say at the end of when we put down the Lulav after the Hoshainus, we say, L'man das kol amei ha'oretz, ki Hashem hu ha'elakim ein oid. That all the nations of the world, all, unity, right? Everyone should know that God is the Lord, and He's the one who rules. May we all merit to serve Him and enjoy Sukkot, enjoy the joy of Sukkot. There are so many messages that could be brought out. God willing, we'll live many more years. We'll give you one every year. All right, and you all have a great Yontif, a very happy, healthy, successful Sukkot, where we see the ingathering of the exiles. As the Gemara says, all Jews are worthy of sitting under one roof of a Sukka. May it happen speedily in our days. Amen.